Man, these are super hard videos to make. I don't know why. Um, well, I got on the internet today. Isn't usually well. I didn't get on the internet. I got on the web. The social media situation and all that. But man, I saw like four things that were I don't know about shocking or whatever. I mean, this shit's been around forever, but it's just concerning or something that I saw these two people that they call themselves Christian mystics. And who am I to doubt them? So these two people, they're both Christian mystics, and I'm sure the very, very best intentions, you know, but despite their efforts to to really help people to whatever to towards salvation. Despite their efforts, they both end up walking down this pathway that leads. They're supposedly the leaders in this situation. They're advising their audience in a way, but they lead these their audience down a path into a Saturn cult. I mean, a cult is a cult, right? These are, and Saturn cults are everywhere. Um, and you can't duck into any particular religion without ending up in a Saturn cult. Even if you study like the deeply esoteric shit, you're gonna end up in this place where you're worshiping a point in the sky, a point of light in the sky. If you go to Buddhism and Hinduism, these are more ancient than the Saturn cults, but they're basically just Uranus cults. They're the cults of the moons of Uranus. And it's just so hard to tell people that, like you're worshiping a point in the sky. And I mean, the man that everyone on earth today knows as Jesus, right? That's what they call him. They call him Jesus. Try to tell everyone. I don't know if this motherfucker could have made it more clear. Sorry, I mean, I don't mean to. For anyone who's super sensitive, I don't mean to MF the JC, but whatever. Yeah, where was I? But anyways, and so many of the Christian traditions, I, tons of them. There's so many of them. But like so many of the Christian traditions make an attempt to break away from that saturnal influence within the cult of Christianity that they ultimately, I mean, I haven't seen one yet. I haven't witnessed one yet that one of these cults that has accomplished, and they've accomplished great things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from all these cults. They've accomplished many, many great things. I mean, Jesus even said, look, you guys are worshiping a cult. You're in a cult of worship. Do the well. Who was it? It wasn't Jesus. Sorry, I'm bad when I start quoting the Bible. But whatever. Even early in the church, there was this widespread kind of understanding that you could continue to be a Jew provided you believed in, I'm using very simple terms here, believed in Jesus, right? You believed in the salvation that Jesus provides to the Jews. Okay? To the Jews. Now, there's other cults, but he's the Jewish Messiah, right? So, even though the Jews don't know that, they're completely unaware of that. Or it seems they're completely unaware of that. I don't know. I don't know a Jew one that says, yeah, he definitely was. But anyways, because this is such a complex thing, it's not like easy to just break it down. But like even early in the church, tons and tons of Christians came from, Jewish heritage. And so they didn't want to give up their tradition, let's say, okay? And early in the church, it was okay. I mean, who said that? Do what they do. Do what they say, but don't do what they do. Oh man, I'm gonna have to edit this, or fuck, I don't want to edit. But anyways, it doesn't. That part doesn't really matter. It's getting way too deep into the Jewishness of the religion. But all of these religions are this way. They're either saturnal cults that practice moon magic, or they're just moon cults, right? All the other religions, all the Abrahamic religions are saturnal cults, with the exception of like what would be considered true Christianity, would be the only non-saturnal cult. But I don't even think there's not a cult for them. There's no cult out there for people who believe that Jesus Christ is God. Those places don't exist. You have to believe that he's in all the other Christian. I don't know any of the Christian religions that. Anyways, I'm not getting into that. So, yeah, those are all the Abrahamic. Islam, man, I don't want to get in trouble with the Muslims. But, it's a Saturn cult that practices moon magic. You can change the words all you want. What you do is what you do. And all your doingness is who you are. So, that's why I say, the man that, the historical figure that we call Jesus said, do what I do. He didn't say, a whole, he really didn't say that much, to be honest. Or there's not a lot that's recorded. But anyways, so yeah, just don't join a cult. Start there. Don't fall into the cult of culture, which is a cult as well. And it's also a saturnal cult. Okay? Because all of our financial systems, they're all based on maritime law. all maritime law is based in the tides and the currencies and blah 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 blah. All of this shit goes back to Saturn. Don't be a druid. You know, I mean, all the druid religions, they're all Saturn cults. Or actually, no, they're actually moon cults. But anyways, I don't want to get into all that either, because then you get into mythology and no one believes in that shit. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this just goes into, this is going to be a long video. A lot of this just goes into, how do I put this? Principalities and powers. And not worshiping the principalities and the powers on this earth. Okay? I'm going to call it, for the simplest terms, angel worship or moon magic, moon worship. Okay? Because damn near every religion, every being that's worshipped on this earth, or documentedly been worshipped on this earth, is related to some kind of moon cult. Moonish, well, before, anyways, like I said, I don't want to get too deep into that, but moonish cults or saturnal cults. And a lot of that, man, if you look at all the calendars in the world, don't look at all of them, there's too many. But if you start paying attention to calendars, you'll start to see some of the ways these things work out. See, this is just going everywhere. Probably time to just cut it off. Anyways, we assign morality to our behavior. And a lot of that morality comes from this misunderstood cult. These misunderstood cults that have been a part of our society for so long. And we accept them as truths, right? But these truths are just all the errors that we agree about. So, anyways, peace out. That one I was super reluctant to do. Alright.